New York City. The morning has begun and the streets fill. The hustle and bustle begins again. Their furry friends await their return, and that is where you come in.
Bark Avenue is a competitive dog walking game on the streets of New York City, where 1 to 5 players walk dogs with competing needs and varying lengths of walk.
Your challenge is finding the balance between the perfect walk and a steady clientele. The everyday events on the streets of New York will keep you on your toes. And as new dogs appear, your strategy may change.
When you go above and beyond, you'll earn tips by taking bathroom breaks, sending photos to the owner, and visiting their favorite spots, where they'll fetch, splash, and sniff.
Once you've completed a dog's walk, you'll drop them off and gain reviews, which increases your rating as a dog walker and unlocks new abilities. The walker who earned the most as the sun sets wins the day.
Back Bark Avenue now to receive Kickstarter exclusive squishy poop tokens, bonus event cards, and the opportunity to have your dog featured on a card in everybody's copy of Bark Avenue.
It's time to hit the streets. Lace up your shoes and meet us there.
Hey everybody, what is up? How's it going?
Guys.
Ooh, we're a little blurry. It's gonna focus.
Okay.
How is it going? It is 10:35, and we are on the final day of the Kickstarter. So we're here. We've made it. Yes. So it has been a thrilling 21 and a half days. I think when we hit that go live button, I didn't think about like the 21 days that we'll like have to keep the pace up and keep the sprint going. And oh my goodness, to keep energy for that long has been, it's been fun. And you know what has made it easy? The fact that every single day we've had new backers, new people who come in and they say, oh, I just found this project and I backed it and I'm excited. And that made us so excited.
Definitely. Yeah, you're right, because like you prepare so much for the Kickstarter. And then you're like launching all this other stuff has to happen. But you guys have been great and really fun to participate with.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And let us know if you can't hear us, or hopefully you can hear us right now.
Yeah, it's a little blurry.
Yes, a little blurry. Yeah, let's see if I can fix it. It should autofocus itself. Let me try one more time. Here we go. It'll figure it out.
Grace!
Hey Grace, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah. So I think we want to start this out by answering a few questions that a lot of people have had. So the first question is...
So we're going to answer some generic questions, but then if you have any individual questions, feel free to pop those in the chat and we'd be happy to answer that as well.
Yes.
This is going to be about like we're going to be on here for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. 30 minutes or less, yeah. Okay, the first question everyone is asking, stretch goals, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna get the dual layer boards? Okay, so there's like, 8 of you here? Okay, we're getting the dual layer boards. It's happening. So there will be dual layer boards. We want to officially cross that 70K mark. We're gonna be so close. I think we can do it. We got $6,000, $7,000 yesterday, and we only have 1,500 to go. So I see no reason we shouldn't make it, but if whatever should happen that we don't, we will get those dual layer boards. So it is happening. But
we want them too, so we want to make sure Bark Avenue is as best as it can be. Hi Jamie, thank you for joining. Oh, Jamie's here.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Sweet. Yeah. So if you have not been following the Kickstarter, you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, we have stretch goals. What that means is if we can print enough copies and get enough funding to be able to print Bark Avenue that we can afford it, we want to upgrade the game and like get better components. So we've got dual layer boards, meaning it's got all the little like holes for all your components to go in. So that will be very exciting. A bunch of other fun, like we got an insert, so we'll have a nice insert for all the cards. You can store it vertically, horizontally, it won't fall everywhere. We also got 3 new event cards, which we really wanted, we love the event cards that break the game rules. It's like you were taught to play the game one way, but now this turn you get to break that rule. So one of them lets you take the train with dogs, which is like super fun. So we really like that. Yeah. Do you want to answer another question?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bill. Yeah, we're really
hey Bill, how you doing?
The stretch goals we are only able to achieve is because of you guys. So like you guys, we funded in the first 6 hours, which was amazing. And that was like the funding we needed to make sure Bark Avenue was a reality, make sure we were able to afford to like get it out into the manufacturer. But anything extra is like been us to be able to make the game better and better and better. But what's been another question? Oh, I don't know if anyone on here, but I'm gonna say it for backlog too. If you got your dog into the game, you will be receiving a survey. First, thank you. You'll be receiving a survey tomorrow, roughly sometime tomorrow, with a questionnaire and a survey asking you about your dog, about about their personality, and a request for photos and what kind of photos we need to get to that artist. And you'll have like 2 weeks to get that information to us.
Yeah, so we'll get some nice photos. We'll learn about your dog so we can put them in a card that makes sense. So if your dog likes to fetch, they'll probably be on a fetch card, like that sort of thing.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
You want to talk about?
I want to talk about the wood.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So originally we had a stretch goal.
Oh, Mars is back yesterday. Thank you.
Oh, amazing! Thanks so much. Oh, hey Rob, how you doing?
Thanks, Rob.
Oh man, it's awesome. Sweet. So Rob is one of our earliest supporters, followed us forever on YouTube as well. Yeah, it's so awesome. We got to play test Park Avenue with him at convention as well. So
is Jamie. Jamie runs a Disney, what do you call it? Disney travel agency.
Yeah, she's a travel agency. I think for all things in Orlando, especially Disney.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sweet. I was talking about the wooden token. So one of the stretch goals we originally had was for wooden upgraded tokens. So what that means is instead of cardboard punch-outs, which most games have cardboard punch-outs, we've always planned for Park Avenue to have cardboard punch-outs, but occasionally you'll see these really deluxeified games that have these like laser-cut wood pieces that are painted, and then they've got silkscreen printed on top of them, so you got colors on them. So we came up with the concept of, hey, let's figure out what it would cost to get wood tokens in the game. So they're multicolored tokens, meaning you got a base paint color, you've got another layer on top of that, and another layer on top of that. So it's like this multi-treat process. There are 95 wood tokens, and so that was going to be expensive. So it was a high stretch goal. We did some kind of shuffling and had an update a while ago where we asked if people would be interested in buying this as an add-on pack. Meaning you spend a little bit extra and you get it as like a baggie that's stapled with like just the wood tokens as like an upgrade. And there was overwhelming support. So that was one of our most commented posts where people were just like, yes, I would do this. So we are right now working on getting that to the right price so that it's something that like we as Kickstarter backers, would we buy this if we were deluxifying a game? And so we want to make sure we get it there, but we are definitely going to have them. They're going to be available in the Pledge Manager. Oh, sweet. Oh, I'm so glad you want to add those wood tokens. That's great. Yay. That's awesome. We think they're going to look so good. So it's by Panda Game Manufacturing, who, if you're familiar with them, they manufactured Pandemic and Root and like all the Stonemaier games, Scythe and Wingspan and all that stuff. So it is the best of the best. Like these are going to be some good components. So we're going to
95 of them in total that people.
Yeah. So lots of components, and it's going to replace every cardboard punch out. So we're not like Castles of Burgundy. You will get everything will be wood. There will be no punch outs left. So yeah. Sweet.
And as far as the last stretch goal, miniatures. So that was a really high stretch goal. We kind of just threw it up there just to see what would happen.
Oh, it's the moon. You got to be prepared, right?
Yeah, you got. But the game doesn't need them, and I think it's one of those things that we will revisit and see if we want to add them in later on, and what we want to do in that area.
Yeah, for sure. So
wood tokens sound good. Awesome. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, we're really excited. Just a few short hours left. We're at 1,500 left. Last time I checked, I think we're somewhere around there.
We finally came to focus.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, still working our way up. So if you're like, we're looking at the graph and it just kind of goes like the last 2 days, which is just so exciting just to see that happen. But really, we've had just like a really steady line the whole time, and I'm so thrilled. Like this is our first game that we've launched on Kickstarter, and like we have experience with game design and stuff. You know, I grew up making video games and all that sort of stuff, but this is like our first big product that we're launching as a publisher, and it's just really exciting to see that happen. Okay, so the estimated shipping date on the game. Okay, so on the page we put September of next year, which is a year and 3 months from now. Now this is based off a number of factors and may not even necessarily be as late as it actually ships. But essentially right now, freight is insane. It's like what cost $5,000 a year ago cost $15,000 if you want it tomorrow, like now. So like triple, quadruple, even 10x easily for freight. So what that involves is like getting in on the right shipment. So it's like waiting for the 3-month period for, okay, now we can get in a crate with a bunch of other board games all coming from Panda or something like that. So we're gonna have to work out some of that shenanigans, and that could plus or minus us so that maybe we're way early. Maybe you get it in May.
The goal is September is like the last, because pretty much the game is done. So it's we just need to finish up the dog art and a couple of the art pieces, but the game is ready to go. So we want to get it out as soon as we can. We just put the September date as kind of, we would rather it come in early than you guys get told it's going to be delayed. So just keep an eye, just stay following the page, and you'll get updates if we're able to make that fulfillment earlier. Yeah, and here's the ideal state, just so you know what we're doing. So as soon as the campaign's over, we got to finish up the dog art, and then the remaining kind of graphical changes, little minor things to the board and stuff based off feedback we received. We had a bunch of reviewers, so they all gave us lots of really good feedback that we were able to kind of see there as well. Once that's done, we're probably looking at September 1st, all the files are done. Of this year. Yeah, so 2.5 months from now, that's 10 weeks from now, we'll be done with all the files, we'll be done with kind of everything. By then the rulebook will be revised as well. We put up a gorgeous rulebook for you to see on Board Game Geek, but I also went through the gauntlet with it and had it reviewed by a rulebook review committee who, they love the rules, they love the game, but they shredded the vocabulary, the grammar, the things like that. So I gotta go through and fix all that, just so that it makes the most sense that it possibly can for someone who's reading it for the first time. I mean, the thing is called Break My Game. So.
Yeah, it's called Break My Game.
They didn't break it, but we just need
No rules changes, but just kind of grammatical changes so that a first-time reader can read it in order and it makes sense.
Yeah, because that's very important to me, is that the rule book is very simple and lots of pictures and lots of examples. It's very important.
So I'm going to go through and do that. Our solo designer is balancing the scores on the solo mode right now so that you can see in the rulebook how the solo mode works. It's genius. It looks so good. She did such a good job with it. But we'll kind of make sure that that's balanced so it's actually a challenge at each of the levels. And then once that's all done, September, we ship it off. The factory told us 6 weeks to produce, so I don't know how long it takes for us to get to the front of the queue. Depends on what's in the queue right there. If we come in right when the next Wingspan expansion comes in, that's a couple weeks. So you kind of have to plan for those things. But ideally, September plus 6 weeks plus 4 weeks plus 2 weeks. February, April, May, June, so it could be kind of any time up until that September time frame.
Yeah, and it all kind of depends it's this weird thing, if you can get in before Chinese New Year, then it would be great. If you get in after,
it's slow to start up. Yeah.
So, Mars has a great question. I'm a big fan of awesome rule books. Yes. Any plans of a game after the success of this one? Yes, we are not planning on stopping with Bark Avenue. We have had a ton of fun. This was probably the longest process of any of our future projects we're working on will probably be, because this was our very first game we designed. But we definitely have some games behind the scenes in the works. We're actually planning on next week working on getting up and starting on those again after this Kickstarter closes. But yes, this isn't the end of Paradise, and this isn't the end for Bark Avenue. So that's what I'll say on that. And this isn't the end for YouTube too. So a lot of people have asked us hey, are you going to stop doing YouTube because you've started designing and stuff like that? No, we really, really love the community engagement and that we've gotten to connect with all of you. And we're gamers first, so we love to be able to share what we are playing, because to be a good designer, you have to play a lot of games that aren't your own. So we want to continue sharing that with you guys, connect with you guys in the community. So we're not going to stop. We're going to continue on.
Yeah. And we played, so our next video that we're doing after this is going to be Disney's Big Thunder Mountain, which is a ride in the Disney parks. We played it last night. I'm very excited to produce that video. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I've been, we went so long on this process that kind of as we got to the end, we were so focused on Bark Avenue, rightfully so. But for the last 6 weeks up until the campaign opened, we hardly played any board game by another designer. It was like we just played Bark Avenue for 6 weeks, which prior to that, we were playing a board game every night or every other night at minimum. And so like I'm excited to get back to that, to play more other games, to kind of expand my mind space and like learn new games again. So I'm playing we're both playing Brass Birmingham for the second time tomorrow night. And I'm very, very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and feel free to drop any questions. Like, it doesn't even have to be specifically about Park Avenue. Like, questions. Just discovered your channel. I'm so happy to know it. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've actually, that's been fun about this too, is that we've had a lot of new YouTube subscribers that have found us from Bark Avenue. So it's fun to see people jumping on that way. Yeah. But let us know if you have any questions about like the process of starting a Kickstarter, YouTube, anything like that. Can't wait to play Bark Avenue. Yay!
Oh, thank you. Another one of our early subscribers. Yeah, best at Star Trek. Always seeing your comment. I love it.
Definitely. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
So I think that covers the main things. Some people asked, some people have messaged us, I'm interested in getting my dog in the game. It's all full. You know, what can I do? Is there a way to get my dog in the game? So we are capped right now at the number of dogs that we can put in the game. We can't add more cards. So at least for Bark Avenue 1.0, no, you know, not counting expansions, things like that. But that said, we have like 8 hours left in the campaign. If somebody backs out of one of those slots, it is all yours. So like make sure you're checking in the last hour or two, just in case any of those open back up, because you can kind of jump in and snag one of those if you're looking. So no promises there, but you know, otherwise, you know, hopefully that's something that we'll be able to offer again in the future. But if not, I think you'll be happy with the breed diversity in the game and all the different types of dogs that you're going to see. And hopefully you're able to kind of like see like, oh, that looks just like my dog, and that'll make you really happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what is something I wanted to say? Oh, so a lot of people don't know, I'm actually pregnant right now, and so we've had some people ask. The baby is due in late September, and so we've had some people ask like about like the Kickstarter and like the game and stuff like that, like what's going to happen during that time. So the plan is everything is going to be, and we like the deadline is September, beginning of September. Everything is going to be out of our hands. It's going to be to the manufacturer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so everything will be taken care of there. I will take a couple weeks off the Kickstarter update, but we're going to have our solo designer be answering questions during that time.
Yeah. So we'll be fully covered. I'm very, very excited about that.
Oh, we've had a couple suggestions from people. The person, Les Petite Chefs, asked about adding other animals to the game for expansions. You know, that was something. I have a lot of ideas, and we have a lot of thoughts for expansions for Bark Avenue. Adding other animals is something I hadn't thought about till this campaign, and everyone keeps asking about it. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with that. Like people seem really interested.
Well, if you watched our dog walk vlogs that we were doing during the thing, you talked about what you saw.
Yeah. So like, but it is true. I've seen like a bird on a leash. But the funny thing I saw is like I saw a hamster going for a walk in Central Park. The girl, it was just like a 10-year-old, she was just carrying around the hamster ball around the park, and her mom was like, she just really wanted to take the hamster on a walk. So you do see it all here.
Yeah, so very funny.
So maybe I'll have to play around with that.
Baby pigs too, lots of pigs.
Lots of crazy snakes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I see individuals walking this. I've never seen, like, as a dog walker myself, I've never gotten a request to walk a hamster.
Yeah,
so I have to think about theming wise, but it could just be like a fun, silly expansion.
Best of Star Trek asked, who is the game dedicated to? So I guess like really the mascot is
I was
Emma.
about to say that too. Yeah.
So Emma is the mascot. She's like on the box cover. She's on a card. She's also
Emma is our dog.
Yes, Emma is our dog. And she's at the groomers right now, or she'd be like up here with us. She's getting ready for her closing shot.
Her closing night performance.
Yep. But she's a goofball. We love her. She's incredible. But on her card, she's actually the only dog that will be wearing a clothing item. So she has a bandana on with the Terradice Games logo as like a little like nod to it. But that's her like little special thing on her card that you'll see.
But I haven't thought about like a specific dedication. That might be something we'll have to toy around with.
Yeah.
But mostly I'd like to dedicate it to like all the people that were there for us from like day one when we released our first video, Best Board Games for Couples, and nobody knew who we were, and everyone was just so supportive in this community since the beginning. So that's probably all I'll dedicate to Emma and then the people that have been there since the beginning.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
What are some other questions people? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was an unexpected surprise with running the Kickstarter campaign that you didn't, a good surprise that you didn't expect?
A good surprise I didn't expect.
Like throughout the course of this 21 days.
Yeah, I guess like one thing that I didn't expect was I thought, you know, we had 99.9% of it figured out by the time the campaign started because we're planners. We wanted to know, like, yes, we know who our manufacturer is, we know how much freight's going to cost roughly, we know all this stuff. We thought, like, once you launch the campaign, like, that's it. This is our plan. This is what we're moving forward with. And at the time, we did not have Australia, New Zealand shipping kind of like charted out on the page. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to offer that, how much that would cost if so. And I think one thing that was amazing to me was we got a lot of questions about that. We also got some emails from different people. Some of our friends in distribution in Australia reached out to us and said, hey, let's talk about this. And within 2 days, we had quotes from like 3 different Australian distributors and like everything we needed to know to be able to fill in that section. And then also like the wooden token upgrades, like to figure out the price of that, to add that as an add-on instead. Our project manager at Panda figured that out in like a day, like or 2 days. It was insane how fast people kind of came to help us. And I think it was just really cool to see that like it wasn't like a 21 business day sort of thing where like it just takes forever to learn. It was really like people were ready right then and there to like freely give us the advice that we needed to just be able to like really fill it out and have a rockstar campaign.
Yeah, I think I like to just like people coming together. Yeah,
it was very cool.
Jamie has a good question. Well, are there any considerations for a mobile digital version of the game? Funny you say that. So Jonathan, if you guys don't know, is a software engineer. So like his background, like that's his full-time job, but he did used to work in video games as well. So I'm not going to say much about this, but we do have some behind-the-scenes stuff happening. Not as Bark Avenue, but there are some digital components we are working on for Terradice behind the scenes. And I don't know, maybe down the road there could be a Bark Avenue digital version as well.
Yeah,
at least
actually
like a scoring.
We did get reached out to by Tabletopia, and they want to develop Bark Avenue for us, which is really nice. So that's potentially an option as well. You might see some Board Game Arena type implementations down the line. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Will doggy bags come with the game? You
We
know,
wanted to. We talked about that forever.
you know, I'm thinking about getting a quote because like they're typically green, right? Like what a plastic bag green would be.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, it's a balance, right? Do you waste? Do you have plastic in your bag? You know, and so it's kind of hard. Like if we don't need it and we can do recyclable stuff, like we will. We'll figure out kind of what we want to do there. But we did joke about that. There is a doggy bag on the player board, so when you pick up the poop, you have to put it on the doggy bag. So
maybe with the retail version, like we're trying to figure that out. Subs the JK. I don't know. It could be useful.
Yeah.
How are we settling to the new place, Eric? Yeah. So we're in a new place. We moved into this place about 3 days before the Kickstarter.
Yep.
That was fun. But yeah, we're like semi-settled in. Like I feel like really good about it. We've been like, as we've been doing Kickstarter stuff, I take like an hour here or there to start putting everything away. But it's a great place. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. So we're moved in.
It'll be great for Terradice.
No decorations, but
no decorations, but it's gonna be great for Terradice because we have a second bedroom for the baby, but it's gonna double as a filming studio.
Yes.
So it'll be great.
Yeah, for sure. We could have a dice like our logo. Yeah, that would be a really cool thing for us to kind of like offer. We're eventually gonna have a web store because you're gonna have to be able to buy Bark Avenue after the campaign. We're gonna have some extra copies and things like that. So
I thought about that. Our sister-in-law, Jonathan's brother's wife, actually made us a prototype of a Terradice dice. That is something I would love to do. Maybe sell it at like conventions down the road and stuff like that.
Yeah. And if you've seen our newer logo, so our older logo was a square die. Our newer one is a rounded die. It looks a little bit more like a globe from far away. So I'd love to see if we could get like a wooden rounded die, because I love those and the looks of those. That's
I'd
very
love
cool.
to get a fuzzy one for the studio.
Yeah,
Plush
it'd be so
fuzzy
much
die.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's Park Avenue. So it has been a thrilling experience. I just can't believe that like we went live, we did the thing, we funded the thing, and
Yeah,
now
thank
it's
you guys,
like
because
it's
it's
real.
like it was terrifying to like hit like the launch. Like you never know. Like everyone's like, yeah, I like it. Like I'll back it. Da 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 da. And then you're like, well, what if
Yeah.
people actually did this? And then that was just really exciting.
Yeah.
So now we definitely have the bugs. We're not stopping because
Yes.
it was fun.
Yeah.
Were you
Expectations of its media exposure, expected or exceeded? Oh, that's a great question. So we reached out to a lot of folks in the media who
I would say the expectations of my dream were met.
yeah. So basically, like, one amazing thing is like we've gone to a lot of conventions and we've met a lot of people in the media, and so that really helped form our baseline of we had some good contacts that we'd been friends with, we played games with, that were like, hey, yeah, I'll review Bark Avenue, and so that helped a lot. But we also wanted to make sure that we got some unbiased, like very much like you are a stranger to us, we don't know you, and you're going to review our game. And so we're about half and half. So about half the reviews are people who've never met us in person.
But those I would say were expected. We knew we were getting those. But
Yes,
during the
yeah.
campaign, there was like there were a lot of people that we didn't reach out to, and that's I think what surprised me is that how many channels and stuff would talk about Bark Avenue that we didn't specifically say, can you please talk about Bark Avenue?
Yes, yeah.
And we were like dumbfounded when Dice Tower, we were on Dice Tower's game Kickstarter.
Yeah, we never reached out to them.
No, we never
talked
reached out to Dice Tower. And we didn't even know about it until someone said, congrats on being Mike Lisa's pick of the week. And we're like, what? So that was really cool. So that like exceeded our expectations twofold. So I think, yeah, we were really happy with the people we were able to get to cover it and those people that were able to do it. But then everyone else just kind of like rallying in and being like, wow, look at this awesome stuff these guys have created. So
thanks.
Really
you feel like it's getting great exposure and great coverage. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We've been trying. We've been oh cool. You saw ads on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Perfect. So
perfect. Glad to know those are
it's working. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully you saw them on Board Game Geek too. We had banner ads all there too. So.
Makes me want to play. Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we actually, John and I designed all those advertising. It's a little fun fact. We designed all those advertisements ourselves, but we've been using.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone thinks
yeah.
we hire someone.
We did not hire people to make our ads. We actually did all those banners ourselves. And the Kickstarter page, the whole campaign page, with the two of us did it in Photoshop ourselves. And we're like, does this look good? I think so. So it was a challenge, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But we didn't do like the algorithm. So that was Backer Kit. So we did use Backer Kit as
during the campaign
as our marketing coordinator, and they will be running the pledge manager as well. And they were great at knowing who to target. And obviously they're great because they targeted you guys, so they knew how to find you. But I've learned so much over the past since starting this business. It's great.
Yeah.
Great that you were Dice Tower's pick of the week. I know! That was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you like the page and everything. So, well, I think that's pretty much it for now. We're at the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I'll say we can stand for last-minute questions. So we'll stand for 5 more minutes. Anyone have any last-minute questions? Feel free to drop them in.
Yeah.
I wish Emma was here.
I wish so too, yeah.
I feel like we're missing a member of our team.
I know. She's probably, I don't know, she's been sweating a lot, so she might be pretty short-haired by the time she gets home.
Oh, I totally did like the summer haircut.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she was not happy with me. She knows where the groomer is, and she tries to pretend like we're not going there, and like she tries any way to go any other way and deny that we're going there. So
yeah, and I don't even think she really minds the groomer that much. She likes being groomed. She likes being short-haired again. She's so much happier. She runs so much faster.
The process.
Yeah. But yeah. So another thing I wanted to say in case it wasn't clear. Oh, thanks so much, Jamie. We're so excited about everything. It's new house, new baby, new game. Like it's just like crazy right now, but it's been good. What is more difficult challenge when you create a game?
What was the most difficult challenge? I think, that's good. You answer this several ways. The first thing that comes to my mind is, so I love designing from theme, and I think Jonathan is initially likes to design from mechanics and then work into theme, but it's like how do those two fit together, because it's really important that they mesh. So I think, because I'll like think of a great like theme and then we struggle with like, well, how does it work into the mechanics? And I think also one of the most difficult things is cutting down what you need to get to the basic of the game. Because once you start designing, you're like, oh, it could have this, it could have this, and you have
If
like,
you read the comments on Kickstarter, they have lots of ideas too. It could have this, it could
everyone
have
has
that.
an idea. So it could have this and then this and this and this, and you start to add all those things, and then you actually go and be like, well, this is way too much. Because then when you actually sit down to play a game, they're very simple.
Yeah.
So I think trimming it was probably the most difficult part, because it feels like you're like trimming part of like I don't know, soul sounds so dramatic, but like you're like, no, like
It's your design. It's part of what you
to
built.
say like, because it was your idea and you're like, nope, like
Yeah, and to that end, I would say the most difficult thing for me is getting the game to the table early and often and playing it. So it's like, it's so easy to have ideas, but then you got to play it and you got to see if it works. And that was really challenging, was like, let's get it to the table and actually try this idea. And you had to have it kind of at least partially fully formed to be able
because
to
it was
do
scary
that.
at the beginning, like we're gonna design it was like John's idea, and then like someone, this is twofold, best is Star Trek, like what got us like hooked into games. I would say we've always loved games.
Played games, yeah.
But I feel like we got really into it in the beginning of 2020.
That's when it became a daily occurrence.
Yeah, which I'm sure it did for a lot of people. But that's when we started to design for Bark Avenue as well. And as far as like, one difficult part about the game, I would say, is just showing up to design it. And like doing something a little bit every week, even if you have no idea what to do and you're stuck and you're frustrated, because there comes a point in the game where you just like want to chuck it out the window and be like, I don't know what to do with this. Yeah. But it was me showing up every day and be like, hey, you ready for I would schedule a meeting when there was only us two going to that meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had quarterly updates because
Yeah.
be like, we have a Bark Avenue meeting. So I think it's just like treating yourself like you were legit before anyone else thinks you are.
2019, yeah,
Nice.
that's very cool. Lots of good games came out around 2018 plus. Like we've gotten some both like games before that were either good or they were gorgeous. Now they're kind of both. It's like they got to be good and gorgeous. And I can't stop buying games. I feel that. We've finally gotten to the point where I think we're pretty.
I joke we had to move, not because of the baby, but because of
Yeah,
the games.
yeah. But I feel like we're at the point now where it's like we are really happy with our collection. So it's like one a month maybe, and you kind of just cycle them and stuff like that. Do you feel like you've kept up with recent releases with everything going on with Bark Avenue? Oh yeah, that's a great question. So we have not bought a lot of things recently. We've stuck to the stuff we want to cover on our channel, like
You
Big
backed
Thunder Mountain next
Kickstarters
week.
recently.
I backed a lot of Kickstarters. The way we play new games, we have a gaming group that we meet up with on Wednesdays, and then we have a cafe we go to on Sundays, and they have all the hot new stuff. So like just played like Azul Queen's Garden and stuff like that. So we're keeping up with a lot of the new releases there, Crescent Moon, like that sort of stuff. But
I would say us being involved
mhm.
on Instagram and on YouTube, like I feel like our games and our friends in the industry, like just seeing other people has like kept me really well like informed of what's happening. I wouldn't say
Yes,
I'm an expert right now by any means.
It
but,
also helps that we go to the conventions. So Gen Con last year had all the new releases 6 months before they come out. So that caught us up through like April, you know? So we saw a lot of good stuff like at Gen Con last year. And I've already put my list together for Gen Con this next year. I'm very excited about several new games that are going to be there. So we'll be checking that out. Also, did anyone see that there's an Exit, the game, like the escape rooms? There's a Lord of the Rings Exit. I'm so excited about it. It launches like this month. So I'll be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be fun. Mystic Market. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool looking game. Yeah.
Never give up on your dreams.
Never give up.
Thank
Never
you.
Surrender.
Jedi. That's
Galaxy
pretty,
Quest reference.
No, probably to end on.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and this has been lovely chatting with you. If you have any questions that we didn't get to answer or like you've been thinking about, you can DM us on Instagram, and we'd be happy to chat with you there.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for your support of Bark Avenue. We're thrilled, and with Paradise in general, we're not planning on stopping. So thank you guys. And
Let's close this thing out.
yeah.
Sweet.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.